So the truckers in Canada are doing us all a favor, but I want to remind you before I show you this. This is the head of the CDC, Walensky, CDC language pivoting on fully vaccinated. When's that from? That's from January 21st. The head of the CDC says we are pivoting on what it means to be fully vaccinated. What does that mean? Well, if you are eligible for a booster and you haven't gotten it, you're not up to date, and you need to get your booster in order to be up to date, said the head of the CDC. What we really are working to do is pivot the language to make sure everybody is as up to date with their COVID-19 vaccine as they personally could be. So now that brings me to Canada, which they are protesting vaccine mandates. And in Canada, Canadians set off fireworks last night as the truck convoy. There's a truck convoy going across the country to the country's capital, and it's protesting the mandates over a 70-kilometer long. That's about 40 miles. 40 miles of trucks. 40 miles of trucks. So if you got in your car and went 60 miles an hour, it'd take you, I think, 40 minutes of straight driving before you got to the end of the line. I'm not a math surgeon, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Canada's convoy shatters the prior world record for longest truck convoy ever recorded. Now, I'm sure that CNN is going to tell you that's not true, and Rolling Stone probably will, but we all know CNN and Rolling Stone are the biggest liars in the world. So if you see that being fact-checked, I would look into it yourself. Kind of warms your heart, doesn't it? Doesn't it kind of warm your heart? People pushing back against authoritarianism, even if they're in the minority. Did I say authoritarianism right? I don't know. This is what Justin Trudeau said March 21, 2020. He said, while many of us are working from home, there are others who aren't able to do that, like the truck drivers who are working day and night to make sure our shelves are stocked. So when you can, please thank a trucker for everything they're doing and help them however you can. What a difference a year or two makes, huh? Here he is, just the other day.
The small fringe minority of people who are on their way to Ottawa or who are holding unacceptable views that they're expressing do not represent the views of Canadians.
They have unacceptable thoughts. Did you hear what he said?
Yes.
I'll play it for you
Play it
again. These are unacceptable.
The small fringe minority of people who are on their way to Ottawa or who are holding unacceptable views that they're expressing do not represent the views of Canadians.
Well, it looks like you've had a bit too much to think. Unacceptable. Those thoughts are unacceptable. And by the way, vaccine mandates go against the science because the science tells you, why would you want to mandate vaccines? Well, we want to stop the pandemic. You can't vaccinate your way out of this pandemic. Even if everyone's vaccinated, everyone, and I mean everyone, is likely to get COVID-19 anyway. So you're going to get it. So now why do you want to have a vaccine mandate? Who do you care who you get it from, a vaccinated person or an unvaccinated person? It doesn't matter, does it? Does it matter? No, it doesn't. So there's no science. If everybody got vaccinated and we would kill this virus, I would say you have an argument at least. I would still be against it because it's authoritarian and I'm for bodily autonomy. But at least you'd have an argument. There is no argument. You're going to get COVID, likely, whether you're vaccinated or not. You're going to get COVID, likely, whether you're vaccinated or not. That's not me saying that. That's Fauci. Tony Science. Tony Science is saying that, not Jimmy Dore. So that's why vaccine mandates don't make any sense, And the only, like, if I know it really helps the profits of Big Pharma. I know that. And I know our regulatory agencies are captured by Big Pharma. And I know our governments are completely corrupted by corporate money. So maybe that's why they're not following the science, because this is not the science. Vaccines do not stop you from spreading the virus, and they do not stop you from contracting the virus. They can reduce your chances of contracting the virus, but Fauci says you're likely going to get it anyway. So what's the point of a mandate now? I think the point of the mandates are to increase profits for certain companies. That's what it looks like. Here's a leader of the spokesperson for the truckers. He went on public enemy number one Tucker Carlson show because no other media will talk about this. Isn't that something? Well, all the good people in the world, they think truckers are the biggest threat to society after they were thanking a trucker for risking their lives to go out trucking. And by the way, you know truckers are the biggest spreaders of the virus, right? Sitting alone in their cabs all day. What? So watch this.
Well, it's simple. I mean, we've seen Canada go from a country of Justin Trudeau's promises of sunny ways into dark authoritarian oppression and control.
Yes.
We want two things. We want to get rid of the vaccine mandates and the passports. And the passports that's a really concerning one. Yesterday, it was my first time ever crossing the border in my truck with my digital passport. And I held my phone up to the border agent to give him the QR code. You know what he said to me? Oh, it's okay, I don't need it. So what do you mean you don't need it? He said, oh, your phone already popped up on my screen and is correlated with your passport. Can you think of that?
The government knows where you are at all. They know if you've been sleeping. They know when you're awake. They know if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. This guy is vaccinated, as am I, and I'm 100% against mandates, as is he. So now you got to figure out a different reason to hate us, because you're wrong on the science, and you've been manipulated. You've been manipulated by your government and your media, your bought media by Big Pharma, to think that mandates are going to eradicate the virus. And if enough people got vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. That's not the case. It never was the case. You get a vaccine because you want to protect yourself, because it will protect you from severe illness and hospitalization. That's what the vaccine does. It doesn't stop you from transmitting it to someone else, and it doesn't stop you from contracting it. Although they do say it does reduce you from contracting it. But Fauci just said you're going to get it likely anyway. And so you're wrong, 100%. I don't hate you because you've been propagandized, as was I, and I was just as crazy as you were. I was crazier than you were, I bet. But then when I started looking into all this and I realized we're being lied to at every turn and it doesn't make sense because of the science, let's get back to this trucker. Now, the government knows before you get there, they know you're coming. Here we go.
Can you believe that? So they know everybody who's coming up to the border before they're there, and they're tracking them. Now, maybe it's outlandish, but what's to prevent the government from introducing that across Canada and not limiting it to just borders? And you guys are getting it as well, and you can thank us for it, because apparently, according to our sources within the media and within government, we have some close ties. Apparently, the Trudeau government, the Biden administration had no interest in it, but the Trudeau government lobbied and requested the Biden administration to introduce this. We don't know why. We don't know the terms of the deal. Are they going to be trading intelligence back and forth between Canada and the U.S. tracking cell phones? Of course, we have no idea. But this is where we're going if this does not stop. That's why this is the line. This is where it ends.
Well, I mean, two things. One, you know, you drive a truck for a living. Your country and ours, you know, thousands of multiple credentialed intellectuals who are paid to think about this stuff. Why has it fallen
Yes.
to you to connect the obvious dots? God bless you for that. And second, do you think that you can stop this with your trucks?
Why does it follow us? Because we're the ones who actually suffer the repercussions. You know,
Yeah.
we often see, we talk about Alberta being Canada's energy sector. I was in Alberta and Saskatchewan just before COVID. And Tucker, I spent a lot of time traveling through Latin America. I couldn't believe it. It looked like a third world country. It scared me. And that was before COVID. So now these people who've had their industries crushed, their lives crushed, COVID comes along, and now they're treated like insects by the bureaucracy.
Exactly, by insects. Wow. Benjamin Dichter, I hope you...
There you go. And Justin Trudeau's not going to meet with those truckers when they get to the Capitol. You know why? Because he said, I just tested positive for COVID, so I have to quarantine for 5 days. So he's not going to meet with those truckers. I bet those truckers would meet with him, even if he's infected. I bet they would meet with him. Hey, why don't you find a bunch of truckers that already had Omicron, and so now they have immunity, and they can meet with them. I bet they could. So, God bless those truckers. And why, Jimmy? Why did those truckers go on Tucker Carlson? Because no one else is inviting them on. There's been a media blackout about this story, and when the media does cover it, they try to get, of course, discredit the truckers. America, as my friends Nick Cruz said many times on this show, America is the most propagandized country in the world, and they have no idea. You are. Okay, more power to the truckers and less power to the emotional morons who are for mandates and vaccine passports. Hey, we're doing live stand-up shows in Los Angeles, February 5th, February 12th, February 18th, February 20th, we're in Philadelphia, and then February 26th, back here in Los Angeles in Studio City at our 60-seat theater. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for all tickets, and while you're there, become a premium member, get access to all our premium content.